Hi, welcome back to Cambridge Inside Out. I'm Judy Nathans.
And I'm Robert Winters.
Okay,
So for this next half of the show,
this is not entertainment. Well, I guess some consider entertainment, but
yeah,
it's,
but I'm
kind of deep stuff.
I consider myself a bit of an infrastructure geek, and infrastructure includes not only water and sewer and rubbish and electricity, but also roads.
Right, but
so
you don't. Yeah, okay.
So at the Cambridgeport Neighbors Association.
Right.
Did I get the right name right?
Yeah, Cambridgeport Neighbors Association. Yeah.
So,
CNA.
Right, CNA. So they had a meeting. How long ago was this?
It was just, here's the agenda. It was last Thursday from 6:30 to 8 at the Moore School. It was actually a Cambridge Public Information meeting, and I don't know if it was a regular CNA meeting, because it wasn't. It was, but it was mainly advertised there,
and they needed a bigger venue.
Right, and Henrietta Davis and Bill Dagian.
Bill Dagian actually works for the city.
Okay, Cambridge representatives to the I-90 task force. And Jack Wolford, who is a Cambridge resident, he was the facilitator, and then there was presentations by MassDOT, which is the Mass Department of Transportation.
Right.
And then they gave a background, and you probably know more about that. It's been going on for since 2014, meetings and discussions.
Yeah, and the planning's been going on a lot longer than that. Let's actually just sort of go right to some pictures here and see if we can kind of make a little sense of it. So this is just one image, basically, just so everybody, I hope, will understand. It's actually, you're seeing more the new rather than the current.
Right. Do you want to go to that other one that shows the area that covers?
Well, we could probably do it.
Obviously, I mean, Cambridge is not part of this, except to get to Cambridge is the issue here.
I mean, part of the reason when the Massachusetts Turnpike extension was constructed, whenever that was, I couldn't even put a date on it.
Right, and the Turnpike is here.
Right, so it came in here, and it's actually loops much higher than what you see with that yellow.
Well, these are all newer things too.
Right.
Yeah, right.
And it goes like a big spaghetti ball, and anybody who's ever come off of the Alston Brighton exits know you get kind of put onto these ramps, and oftentimes there's this interminable line of people waiting to get through an all too short light cycle over at the River Street Bridge, where they have to let people coming from the hotel, people exiting.
Having no tolls helps, but I don't know if that helps or not. But the point is, it's all of them merged.
But it's really, it's not a great situation.
Right.
So I think everybody's kind of understood that something needed to change for some time.
Right.
Furthermore, there was a desire. Also, let's just be clear that the railroad yards,
which is all around
yards,
here,
have been there forever. Well, actually, they're really further north. I mean, the spaghetti ball kind of navigated its way right through the yards, and around the yards.
Yeah.
Most of that capacity is not needed anymore. There are yards west of Boston. I think it would be a big mistake to just eliminate them entirely. I think there's still some need.
Well, what's the deal with the?
They are maintaining some.
The West Station.
Right. So what they want,
is that a transit or a railroad?
They're proposing to put in another station. Now, my understanding that this would be a commuter rail station.
Right.
Now, I hope that the city, the Boston people planners in the Boston metropolitan area can finally wake up, smell the coffee one of these days, and realize that some of these commuter rail lines need to be turned into rapid transit lines, even if the people in the suburbs complain. But the thing is that really ideally should be a transit line right there. But it's
so not a subway, not like the Green Line extension?
I don't believe so.
Because that's, beyond that, over here is all the Harvard development that's going on. I thought they wanted something in there.
Right. Well, the thing is the green. That's a separate proposal.
Okay.
Which was the old Inner Belt proposal, which was a transit proposal, and we haven't heard. We haven't heard about that in a while, so it's kind of been put to bed for a bit. I'm sure it'll come roaring back here. But one of the things that's true about that area is that in this spaghetti ball here, and these bad light timings, insufficient queuing up space at the lights. The roadway, that section of Cambridge Street, from River Street, going over to where it crosses over the Mass Pike, heading over toward the other Union Square. That is one of the most hostile roads.
For bicyclists and
certainly for cyclists, but for anybody. It's a road that it just should not exist.
This theoretically will improve I wasn't clear on that from the meeting.
It'll really change things a lot. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Now, in addition to moving the yards down, and actually in this latest proposal, they actually moved the turnpike 100 feet further south, right? Getting it almost lining up with the rail lines, compacting
Well,
things in there.
the main difference I heard was the different designs. One is, I guess the new thing is to not do the suburban type sprawling like ramp things that you see everywhere, right? But to do street level routes.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right.
Okay.
So I'm just going to come back to us for a
These
second
are,
here,
but,
just to say
okay.
because it's a very similar thing that's being proposed. You know, we'll see it when it happens, right?
Where?
But on McGrath Highway, this group called Grounding McGrath, up in Somerville.
So that would be something to do with the Green Line extension too, right? Because it's all
it's kind
sort
of
of relates to that?
Not really,
No?
but the thing, well, certainly
It will eventually.
right now
Yeah.
where McGrath Highway has the
That's
viaduct that goes over it,
Yeah,
it ends into Leachman
That's
Station.
another terrible place to happen, either
Right,
right
so
or
that's
wrong.
going to move over there.
Oh,
McGrath
okay.
Highway is at least that most of it's in Somerville, I guess, but
Yes.
to whatever degree it's in Cambridge and Somerville, it is, in my view, the most hostile
I don't think it's
road
in
around
Cambridge
here.
at all, is it?
Not 100%.
Oh, maybe
sure.
down by
When you get right close to the
Twin
other
City
side.
Plaza.
Yeah,
Okay.
but regardless, you know, these are
Yeah.
supposedly bicycle.
So there's
friendly
plans for
places.
that too? Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is that, you know, I mean, I've seen proposals for putting it underground, whatever, but
Well, right.
people don't
that's
understand
true.
that when you
Yeah.
put a road underground,
Yeah.
that you basically require hundreds of yards of ramp
Inside.
space to get
Oh.
to that.
Oh,
So you essentially create a chasm that blocks
Huh.
off a lot more than you think.
interesting.
Sort of like, you know, wasn't it nice to put the Harvard Tunnel on Cambridge Street so that students didn't have to dodge traffic going to and from Harvard Yard, right? Well, yeah, but it also made the entire section of Harvard's
Oh, you're
Square,
talking about
Harvard
by
Yard,
the Elliott
feel like a
Bridge?
highway.
Wait
No,
a minute.
I'm talking about right in Harvard Square,
Harvard Square, what
Right.
tunnel?
where the underpass of Broadway and Cambridge Street merge and go up toward North
Oh,
Right, I mean,
right.
it makes it very nice when you're above ground, but the thing is that it's like cutting a chasm in the city.
Well, it's not that bad.
It's not bad, but you know, if you saw some images of what it looked like once upon a time,
Okay.
it was just a nice street.
So probably more traffic, but
Total.
anyway, yeah,
Right,
okay.
we had to dodge traffic. And the problem was that every hour when the students would switch between classes, it
Then
was
it
a
really
total
is,
nightmare.
right,
Stop
okay.
traffic completely.
Interesting,
Right.
all right.
So that's what they did, right? But, so anyway, I forget where I was going with this here, but, oh yeah, I was gonna mention, just before we get back to Mass Pike Realignment.
Yeah,
So the latest proposals I've heard in the grounding McGrath is to remove the elevated highway sections, drop it down, reshape
street
it,
level,
and make it feel more like what they like to call an urban boulevard.
which is I guess the new thing
A
now.
little bit more, maybe a
And
little
get
more
rid
like
of that,
Huntington Ave
what
or
is it, the
Boston.
60s, or that when we built these ramps that
Yeah,
go
all
over
these
Cloverleaf,
loop
all that.
ramps.
And I don't like that either, but the
Yeah.
thing is, are we gonna have more cars or less cars? People think that there's gonna be more cars, but then there's,
Yeah,
but I don't know, I think the trend is
Let me
not.
sort of walk back to this
Yeah.
here now. So getting back over the Mass
Yeah.
Pike, part of the reason they're putting in a road network into the
These are
section.
new, these
Yeah,
are
all
new
these
roads
do
right
not
here.
exist now. And you might think, well, that's great because you can build buildings and they'll have street frontages, so it'd be very good
Well,
for turning
yeah.
it into a whole new section
But
of developable land and, you know, some properties and interesting attractions.
the
will
main
arise.
thing is that people, I mean, you will not be able to turn,
Well, I don't know if that's
Right.
the main thing, but
well, that was a big point
I
of
know,
discussion.
I know, but the thing is that what you're doing is every piece of road, 100 feet of road is also 100 feet of capacity for cars. Now you might say, well, you don't want cars backing up, but in fact, yes, you absolutely do. The truth is that right now they back up sometimes going all the way right into active traffic on the Mass Pike, and you don't want
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
right? Last thing you want to do is have cars zipping along on the Mass Pike and just to run into a stopped line of traffic. So, so some of the traffic will come off closer to, I think it's where West Station is shown in red.
Well, this is the Pike, right? So if you're
Right.
continuing going to Newton, you keep going.
Yeah, but you
right.
see there's an exit right there.
This is the
Right.
exit that you would take if you
wanted
want to go to
get off and
Cambridge.
go to Cambridge, right?
Right,
So if you do that,
So-
you just go up to Cambridge Street,
And
bang
then-
right, go over River Street, everybody's
Right.
happy, right?
and getting onto the Turnpike will no longer be where it is. And I'm
Yeah.
not quite clear on that.
Well, I guess,
And
yeah.
they said it's below, so somewhere, I have no idea. I don't know.
Right, so I have to get a little bit closer look at this. I'm kind of sorry I couldn't make it this meeting, but
There'll be more.
I was teaching at the time.
Yeah.
But one other thing apparently, and I think you've reflected this as well, is that currently you can go along Soldiers Field Road.
Which is this, right?
Right, and you come up right all the way up to River Street, and there's sort of an exit ramp. You come up the river and you bang a right.
You can't do that.
So under the latest revised proposal,
You have to go here.
right, and we'd actually have to race way ahead to sort of
Well,
see
you
it
have-
there.
Well, what do you mean?
You can do it with the arrows. You can kind of just go race way ahead. But the thing is that what's proposed there is that you'll be able to. The Soldiers Field Road will be pushed further west, which will open up about 4 acres of parkland.
Yeah.
Granted, it's sort of it's stretched out, so it's
More
not.
bike path.
There will be the right now the Paul Dudley White bike path. You know, I remember riding that 25 years ago. Was really a narrow neck there. It was really pretty dreadful, and you were kind of wedged in between a concrete barrier with steel and another barrier. It was not great. So that'll be much more luxurious. There'll also be an at-grade way in which you can exit there to go directly over toward Alston.
Right.
Right.
But you will be merging with the people coming off the Turnpike, apparently.
Right, and I suppose it's fair to say. See now, and I think as anyone who's ever listened to me for more than 12 minutes knows, I'm not a big fan of segregated bike facilities, but there are places where there's high degree of friction, large differences in velocity between cyclists, pedestrians, and motor vehicles, and turning motions, where in fact having a separated facility makes sense. This is one of those places.
But notice there's also, when you're coming off the Turnpike, there's actually 2 ways to get to this street. There's also this proposed road, which I don't think is there. So there's that. So this might, maybe they'll designate one as a bike path and the other not. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, everything's still in flux. There's quite a few
this isn't going to even start till like 2020
so
maybe.
Just sort of come on back to us here. We can just sort of scroll randomly through, and we'll come back when we hit something interesting.
Go down or up?
Down.
Okay.
Yeah, they have just a few little promo shots in here, but one of the things that I thought was interesting in this most latest proposal was, and this is a concern I actually have about roadways and city plans in general around here, which is complete lack of connectivity. You know, we all love the Charles River, but it's like having a moat. You know, you cannot easily transmit between the cities.
Right.
So everybody gets funneled through these overly taxed, relatively few bridges. Right. And then when they're reconstructing a bridge like Longfellow, you really notice just how restricted we are. You know, it's really tough.
Well, okay,
right?
go ahead.
But on the other side, the north side of Cambridge, you know, we have a railroad track that just cuts things right in there. So there's only a few ways of getting across over into Somerville. So Prospect Street ends up being this endless traffic nightmare.
Right.
You know, and it's a problem. You know, that people still lobbying to get another crossing up west of Elweffer Parkway over the railroad tracks to sort of open up that area over there. I don't know whether that's even going to happen anymore.
Actually, I forgot. Did you hear what's happening this summer with the BU Bridge and Common Ave's being closed down?
Is this part of this project? Preliminary?
No, actually, well, it's part of the Mass Turnpike. They're doing stuff for the bridge that goes over Common Ave.
Okay, which is...
You will not be able to go over the BU Bridge. If you're a pedestrian or a bike. And Common Ave, you cannot ride on that. So I think that's going to be from the end of July to... They say they can complete it in 18 days. I am planning a vacation from August 1st.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Seriously, do you know what the traffic's going to be like in Cambridge?
That bridge is basically that's an amazing piece of engineering.
Already I don't like it. It already backs up even when there's not a Red Sox game.
That's just
going to be Red Sox
it's
games
like a
too.
shelf just sort of dangling out there.
But everybody has to merge into one lane, and I know it's to accommodate bicyclists anyway now, and now you cannot use it. So people are going to be using, the Western Avenue Bridge to get to Boston, and MIT Bridge.
Yeah.
Longfellow's still being worked on?
Yeah, and it's got at least another year or so on that.
So people don't believe this will only take 17 and a half days.
Oh yeah. Enjoy the horror.
Yeah. But it'll be a good, what do you call it? preparation for whatever's gonna happen here down the road.
Yeah, I guess.
Is this a
We're sort of-
worthwhile map here to show? I don't know, I don't
you
know.
know, we should all wear T-shirts. We are all here on Avenue,
Well, I
because everybody up there has been suffering through this for ages.
Oh,
now.
that's true. You're
Yeah,
right,
so now
you're right.
they'll say, well, now it's your turn, everybody else, right?
Yeah.
But the one of the things that, because I was mentioning about interconnectivity, you know, if I over at my friend Debbie's house in Brookline, and if I want to go back to Cambridge, I can do one of two things. I can go all the way into the Bayou Bridge
Are you talking about in a car or by bike?
in a car,
Okay.
or by bike, and then I have to go over that way, come up this way to where I live, or I can go all the way west and then come back here over Cambridge Street and go in there,
Yeah.
because there's just no connection direct, right?
Well,
One of
do
the
you want another bridge?
well, one of the proposals here is to
Really?
open up Malvern Avenue
Where's
to
that?
full two-way traffic.
Where's that?
Well, where if you were to make a connection from where all this spaghettiness is happening,
Oh, it's over
like
in
North
Alston?
Harvard Street,
Okay.
and you could
Yeah,
come, and you
I
could
know
come
where that
straight
is.
over the tracks where
Yeah.
the new West Station is proposed.
So kind of diagonal. Is that here
Yeah, I don't know
anywhere?
if it's any. Maybe you should scroll down a little bit more. I'm sure we'll try and hit it here. You know, you just keep on
For
going.
additional east-west street connection from, no?
No.
All right.
But basically, at least one proposal, and I don't know whether it's going to survive. But I have to say, it has a certain. Even though I know it's very in these days to diss anything that encourages any motor vehicle traffic. The fact of the matter is, it would be an enormous benefit if you could actually make that connection.
Consider a I don't see any of this.
Well, I'll just describe it then. All right.
Alright.
So there's you know where Packard's Corner is, which is what we lovingly call
That's,
the turn
so,
in Commonwealth
right,
Avenue.
no cars from Kenmore Square to Packard's Corner
Right.
during the summer.
So right where the turn in Commonwealth Avenue is,
Yeah.
right? Just on the north side of Commonwealth Avenue is Malvern Street,
Okay.
and it goes straight in and it hits the railroad tracks. It doesn't go any further today. But if you connected it here, it would actually connect right over to where the
I see what
station
you're
is,
saying.
right into the heart
Aren't
of
there
this.
homes there and stuff and
There-
residences you'd have to,
well,
whoa.
There would be some homes who would say, "Wait, you're going to turn this into a large traffic
Yeah,
volume material."
I think you're gonna have.
Well,
Big
listen. The fact is that when the Mass Pike was put in, many homes were taken, and
Yeah, but there also is that mural for people that fought back on.
I know. But the thing is that that's one thing if you're trying to put a whole highway through, as opposed to a convenient connecting road.
I don't think
Right?
that's gonna fly, but anyway, I can't
Well,
find
I
it.
don't
keep
know.
looking. Whoops, you got this.
There are some parts of this that I think. Anyway,
You're gonna have to draw your.
I find that appealing, to actually make a full-throated connection. But at
Yeah.
the very least, they would make it available for buses and bikes.
Uh-huh,
So that is in all the proposals that I've seen.
yeah.
But the thing is that to restrict it so you couldn't have any motor vehicle access there as well, to me would be an opportunity lost. But anyway, that's my take on
All right.
things there, right?
Okay.
And the interesting thing about it too is that right now there's something kind of weird about, once upon a time, Commonwealth Avenue sort of becomes Brighton as
Yeah.
it goes straight, and it
Well, North
only becomes
Beacon's-
Commonwealth Avenue when
right,
it
yeah.
turns, right?
Yeah,
At Packard's Corner. But the thing is that if Malvern was a connection, then you would actually create a bit of a desire line. So it doesn't quite turn it into a street crossing, but you actually create an incentive for people to be going straight across.
I know, but that would be,
You'd have to do
that
some
would generate
reconfiguration.
so much traffic in a residential area. You
Actually,
either have to take
wait.
over homes by,
I gotta
eminent
say about
domain.
that is that right now, the amount of traffic that has to go up Linden Street, bang through, zip through this street here,
Linden Street's an eyesore, that's true.
just to
However-
connect Cambridge Street as the shortcut, or go up to Harvard Street so they can
Yeah,
connect to Cambridge
But
Street
at least
here.
that's a commercial
But
area.
they are flooding
Yeah.
it, and they are turning. No, there's residential homes up and down all
Not
of
on
those
Harvard
streets.
Street, there isn't, that's a commercial area.
Not on
Linden-
Harvard Street, but Linden, right?
No,
So-
Linden, there's all,
Yeah,
yeah.
and
it's-
those streets are used as cut-throughs with
Yeah.
full volume traffic all the time. So, the thing is, essentially what you do is you'd be moving some of that traffic to another street. So,
Maybe,
now,
yeah.
is this fair to people who live on Malvern Street? Probably they'll be horrified by it, but I do think there's some merit in the proposal.
Well,
Yeah.
you should, have you
Anyway,
told,
let's-
there
let's
it is,
just
I
take a
see
look at
Malvern
this one
Street
all
here,
right?
but
This-
it looks,
Maybe this will sort of show
it
it.
looks straight up, it doesn't look diagonal.
Yeah, some of the later ones. I actually have this on the website for this program here, where it says West Station. The west edge of that is actually Malvern Street, and how it connects.
But then you
straight
have
up.
railroad tracks, so how would you get from Malvern Street?
You're going right over it. You're going right over the tracks, right over the pike.
Because it's already there? The road is already there?
Yeah, well, there's no road there now, but that's
Oh, so-
there would be
oh,
an
I see.
overpass when you go over, because
I
that's
see.
how, if you had buses coming in from the
Okay.
north of the tracks, you'd come into West Station,
Okay.
south side of the tracks, and then
Alright.
you come out the other side,
Where's Linden on this?
further west.
Further down,
Yeah,
okay.
it's after the turn Commonwealth.
Oh, here,
Avenue.
oh, it's all the way down there.
Yeah,
Oh, my
yeah.
goodness.
So the thing
Okay.
is, what's happening right now is people sort of they're cutting through all sorts
Yep.
of
Mhm.
interconnections to get to where they wanna go today.
BU would have
It's
something to
just
say
changes.
about that too, because this is all, behind this sign here is all BU, a recreational area.
There are a lot of
Taking
competing
over
interests
whole
here.
things here, right?
Oh yeah, well honestly,
So-
if I was BU, I would probably
Yeah.
particularly
Mhm.
worried that you're trying to infringe on Babcock Street at the other end, which is where the stadium is. Because that's where a lot of the athletes hang out and whatever.
Yeah, but that's over here, but they've taken over all of
Right,
this too, there's
but all
athletic
these roads
facilities.
become access roads to
Yeah.
West Station.
Yeah,
And in all of the proposals that I saw, that there were, some of these things get turned into access roads.
well, yeah, maybe,
Now,
yeah.
now, I have to say though, not that the bicyclist infrastructure is the be-all end-all of a project like this, but you can actually see here on the right side of this image, where it says additional open space created in green.
Right here, yeah.
Right, and you see this sort of yellow thing, like a tongue that goes in there with a little brown thing in the middle?
Right here?
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, what's that?
So that's actually where not Star Drive, I keep calling it Star Drive, but it's
Yeah.
Soldiers Field Road there.
Yeah,
Would basically dip under a road,
yeah,
so you were in the Parkland area, you would be right at grade level, and
Yeah.
the little parkway would just sort of pass right under you, which gives you a complete uninterrupted access for cyclists
yeah.
who would be coming over from the Alston area right over to the Charles River paths. I
Mhm.
think that would be an enormous improvement.
Hmm.
And the path itself will have a lot more ample room and be wonderful. I've seen other proposals, really sort of fanciful ones of people putting other new cycle-only bridges over the Charles. I don't
And
think any of that,
tunnels, yeah.
none of that's gonna happen. But Brad Bellows, you said, was a person who actually,
Brad Bellows, yeah.
he offered up a tunnel proposal, I think, for the pike itself. Let me,
I'm not
so we don't have an image of that here. Let me just sort of say that when I first heard that, my first thought was, okay, I remember when they were doing Scheme Z in the Central Artery North project, where the old High Bridge was taken down and they took down all the highway structures that were above Charlestown Square, City Square in Charlestown, and made it into a really nice place again. Let's see, where was I going with this?
I don't know,
Um,
but is there something about tunnels?
Oh, yeah. When they were doing this, when there was a proposal to have a new bridge,
Before the Zaco.
before the Zakum, it's actually a big reason why we have the Zakum,
Hmm.
is that one kind of occasional ne'er-do-well, but occasionally brilliant guy, Steve Kaiser, had a proposal of an all-tunnel option for getting over the Charles, or crossing the Charles.
So under the water?
Right now the Zakum Bridge goes up and over,
Yeah.
and then comes back down, right?
Yeah, you wanted it under
Now-
the water?
Well, the original proposal was to have just a bridge, probably a much more ordinary highway type of
Yeah.
bridge. And in terms of the way environmental impact reports and community response work, if you can simply propose an option, even if it's cost prohibitive, but if it is feasible, then that forces certain responses to happen that might not otherwise happen. So when I hear Brad Bellows coming in and say he's going to offer an all-tunnel option, my first thought is, well, he might be doing it because he's got a great idea. But the thing is he might also be doing it because if you put in a feasible option, it does sort of force certain responses that you might not otherwise get. So we'll see. Personally, especially since the Mass Pike certainly it is below grade when you get east of, when you get down toward Kenmore Square area. And it's at grade level and then above grade level, as you're going through there, right? I mean, you could make a case, but the problem is even in these images, they call it the throat, right? Because you're trying to squeeze railroad infrastructure,
Star Drive.
Star Drive,
Yeah.
Soldiers
And-
Field Road
and- yeah.
infrastructure, parkland, bike path, all of this into an incredibly narrow corridor.
Yeah,
So unless you want to start filling in the Charles to widen it, your options are somewhat limited.
Well, I should add there's this other, that's his, and then there's, well, I guess they're both, ABC is not a Better Cambridge, it's another,
There was
it's
something like,
it's a
yeah,
different
something
group.
like, yeah,
gosh,
whatever.
A Better City,
A
something
better
cities,
city,
yeah.
So
For the
there are
South,
people,
yeah.
there are some good
Yeah,
ideas being
they were
floated
there,
here.
yeah.
And I have to say, because I saw some of the early proposals and earlier presentations, I wasn't at them because I
Yeah.
couldn't be there, because they always put them on Thursdays for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that it seems like they're being very responsive to a lot of the community feedback. So they're moving the whole.
So far, I've heard viaducts and surface level, but
Right,
no tunnels so far.
right, yeah, and I don't know what you really need from the Mass Pike there, but, personally, I just think that this is gonna be an enormous improvement no matter what.
Right,
So the
which is
question
what
is, how do you
several
get the
people
most
there
out of it?
said, yeah.
Yeah, how do you get the best out of what's ultimately gonna be a good thing? And I suppose, it's perfectly fair to say that there will be some disruption.
Right, but, I mean, basically, Cambridge it's really just getting into Cambridge and getting onto the Pike from Cambridge, but we are not the bulk of this project.
Right.
It does affect us, but, there
mean,
was sort of a sentiment there like, well, what are we getting out of it or
The
something,
reason,
but
one first question I would have asked
Yeah.
was, are there gonna be any periods when the Mass Pike will have to be closed?
Oh,
I don't know if anybody asked that.
yeah,
It's amazing how the engineers manage to pull it off, that
Yes.
you keep traffic moving, even if it's restricted,
yeah.
and you do this and you
It's
stage
obviously
it.
done in phases,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So
'Cause
maybe
then
we
I
can
don't
do
think
it.
they're closing the Mass Pike to do this
I don't
bridge
think they
repair.
really can,
No, this summer.
right?
People really need to check that out, because if you're going, believe me.
You could
it's
turn
gonna be a
Starlet
nightmare.
Drive into the Mass Pike temporarily for a section, I guess.
It's gonna be a lot of traffic, but, I mean, they're doing it then, because obviously it's better weather, but also they've done studies and less people travel then. 'cause of
Anyway, on
vacations.
that note, since we did talk some roads
Yeah,
here,
and next week there will be a city council
we'll
meeting,
we'll
yes?
talk some more about other interesting stuff next week. So
All right.
see you later.